Today, working on some of the family's vehicles. It's a 2006 Chevy Silverado, 4.3 liter. First report was some sputtering that was going on, and while we were having our Sunday supper last week, we decided, hey, well, let's go out and look at it. Want to see if maybe an air filter had been put in. We'll go look at that first. I always like to look at the basics. Vehicles are very complex, the motors are, but as firefighters, we look at a fire triangle or tetrahedron, so fuel, heat, oxygen on three sides, and then a chemical chain reaction. And vehicles are very much the same. You've got to have fuel. Is it getting fuel? Is it getting oxygen? And then it's got to have heat from the spark plugs or compression from a diesel engine. So I usually start with the fire triangle first for an engine. So today, let's look at the filter. When we took the box off to look at this, of course, these, you have to use the star to get that out. But boy, that box was full of a nest. Something had come in from the side over here and got in and built a very nice little nest. Very clean nest. It was not a mouse. I would say it was probably a chipmunk. Something had got up in there, just paper towel, leaves, and some other stuff. So anyway, there's another screen right here. So the animal didn't get past that part, and it was all isolated to here. We put a new filter in, running better. It actually ran quite a bit better, really changed that. So it was an air restriction from the nest that was in here. But as we decided to clean the top of the engine up here and check some other stuff, look for any vacuum lines as well, we were putting the PCV line back on right there, and my hand was over here. I hit one of the heater core lines, just really not much at all, and kaboosh, antifreeze started coming off. So it's the connection to the heater core going in there, and let me see if I can get in closer to let you see this. There we go. The one on the left is the one that broke off. The one on the right is good. The piece that you see on the left, that is a plastic piece. That whole housing has to come off, replace it, and then we'll put the hose back on that barb. So let me come back out of this again and let you see the end of the hose, the one that broke. Just brittle. It did not take much at all, and that just came right off. So next I'm going to move back and show you what we're going to do to this. All right, so what we're going to do to fix this is this, like we'd said back there, this is one piece. And this is going over top of a fitting that's to the heater core going through the firewall. Then the hose is clamping onto this. But as you can see, this is not plastic. This is actually metal. This is made in China, of course, like about everything. But we did not really just want to replace back with a plastic one. It's just a bad connection really there for plastic. So actually we went ahead and got two of these, and we'll go ahead and replace both of these. It's most likely that the other connection is probably brittle as well. So let's just go ahead and fix this so he's not broken down somewhere. But to get these out, if you look inside, you have some barbs that hook onto the fitting going through the firewall, and to release that, you have a tool like this. Now I just bought a new one along with this because this one's actually, well, it's metal, but boy, it feels like a very super light aluminum. But I had a set with plastic one of these, a lot of fuel lines and different release pins and stuff like that was made out of plastic. That I'm just going to go ahead and get one of these. So what this does is this going to reach around the back, clamp over the fitting, and then it's going to go inside, and we'll have to pull that with the fingers, and that will release the fingers that's inside. It should be going that direction, and we should be able to slide it off. We'll probably have to rotate it. We'll probably have to do that. And then we're going to actually put just a little bit of dielectric grease on the O-ring that's in there, just a little bit to make sure it seats okay and nothing's tight on it. But we'll get going on this. We'll see if we can get the old one off. Well, let's call it a good guess here. So this is the second hose that was still connected. I barely just started getting the retaining clip off of there, and it just pulled right off. So it was ready to go as well. So the barb has broken off on that one just with hardly any effort at all. So just go ahead and call it. If one of these is broken, replace both of them. Probably a good move. All right, we're going to remove the old male barb that's broken off in this hose. We'll see if we can. Yeah, it's just, boy, it's just coming out in pieces. why it's crumbly. All right, so there's the rest of the male barb come out. Let's take a closer look at this. That definitely has degraded. You can see the shiny stuff inside. Well, that was ready to go, wasn't it? All right, let me get the second one out. FYI, I'm on a small ladder because I'm not a tall fella, and everyone's wants to slide with me. I'm trying to twist this a little bit as we go. All right, second little strategy, that was just not working the way I wanted it to. I just can't rotate and pull at the same time, can't get the pressure. So what I'm going to try is using this pair of needle nose pliers, get it behind that collar, pull the pressure on it in it, and hold that pulling out while I grab a hold of the front of this and see if wiggling, keeping pressure on the back will help us some. All right, this thing's being a pain. That's par for the course, but this plastic that's even on the mount here is actually just falling apart. So I can't really get a grip on it to do anything. I think I've got a little bit of movement because as I've got the spring tension on that release tool, I'm trying my best to do some rotation, and I think it's finally maybe move some. It's moved maybe a 1/4 inch, so we'll call that progress. I just can't get a twist that way. All right, we'll see if we can get a little more grip with these gloves. Nothing really much better than the skin, but feels like she stopped kind of moving out on me. I'm not sure why. The removal tool is seated all the way in there. Man, I just can't get a twist this direction with my right hand, which stinks. Well, obviously I'll probably shut out a little bit of video because things don't always go smooth, but it's getting ready to come off. But I've still been sitting here with the collars up in there really well. I've been twisting, pulling, all kinds of stuff, and it just was not getting any progress. So I think maybe need to give a little shock. I don't want to damage this. It's probably aluminum there in the piping. But what I did was on the fatter part around the rim, went about 3 places and did a tap on it, and then came right back into turning, and it started coming out. So maybe it was the little, there we go. Yep, did the last part. So we can see I know this was engaging the barbs in there. I'll get the tool off. It was engaging the barbs in there actually pretty well, but it seems like there's a little bit more that was catching on the side. It actually fits in there quite nicely. Good and firm, and does engage it. I don't know if you can see down a hole, but it has released them, so that was good news. I think there was just something there still catching it, so she's out. And then we got this one to go. Well, already another small problem. This tool, when you open it up and try to get it on the left one, you don't have enough clearance between the firewall side here and where the tool can go in. It's too close, so this will not close around tight to be able to slip this in. So this won't work. It worked on the outside one, will not work on the inside one. There's just no room for it. So I went to my other kit I've got, so the 3/4. I'll try to get this one around up from an angle, slip it over. I'm probably going to have to turn this to get the things actually released, because it's not going to be the full circumference of 3/4 close to it. But now we'll give this one a shot. What's the kitty cat doing? Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty. Kitty. Where's my little meower? Yeah. You come up and give me a hand for a second. That's the neighbor's cat. Comes up from the woods up above. Two of them look just alike. They are sweet as can be. Bye, kitty. Bye, kitty. Yep, okay. We'll get back to work. Man, there's hardly even room for this tool. That's nuts. Good job, Chevy. Good job. Anybody else when they're working on a vehicle? I mean, these are amazing machines, all of them really. But sometimes you're working on them, you just would love to speak to one of the engineers. Somebody in planning who made some of the decisions sometimes that you just wonder about. Why would they make it this way? Not gonna work. All right, I'm resorting to plan F, G, H. I'm not sure which one it is now. So the original one, trying to unlock that behind, is too wide. So I even went and filed a decent portion of it off and put it on the brush wheel, but it still is not gonna get this opening around that firewall either way to slide around or anything. Not going to do it. This has not worked. I've tried a couple different angles. In fact, it seems like once this goes to the 3/4 diameter ID, this wall is too thick to do what it needs to do in there. So that's not working. Had this in another kit, it would probably go around there and slide behind it, but this is not long enough to go back here and release it. So carrying on. I think this might be a battery post cover. Looking through, I can't tell. I think it may have come off of a battery or something. So I'm going to cut the top off of it and see if I can even get this plastic in between just to raise up some of those levers and give that a shot. I can't believe that actually worked. All those other tools I had in kits, this piece of a battery terminal cover from a new battery is what got this thing off. So once I cut the top of the cap off, well actually this is the smooth side, this is where I cut the cap off, then I split it in half, and then once we got it behind it, of course it slips over easy, it doesn't take up any room, but it is the exact ID you need. Once I got it started in, it took a lot of twisting and kind of reaching back in and pulling this way on this while I rotate and keep working this thing, and eventually it clicked and then I could start feeling it coming off. Very happy about that. I'm shocked. You just never know what works, but to whoever was on the committee on the part from Chevy to put this that close to that wall, shame. You didn't work that one out well, but I'm sure you did a lot of other good stuff. So, whew, I'll clean these up and get the new ones on. All right, before I slide this on, you can see maybe the black, it's the actual seal part of this. It's not calling for this, but this is just some dielectric grease. I'm gonna put it on my, or grease. Just put it on my finger, just a little bit of it. I know that it's probably gonna be snug once I get in there. So I just want to give it a little bit of something to make it slide on there. Help encourage it. That's the word for today. Yeah, it looks wet all the way around. Of course, I'm not trying to put something in there that's going to get all gunked up in the system. Just a little dab of it there. And we'll give this one a shot. And it's on. That slid on quite easy. Let's do the next one. Oh yeah, I got it in my pocket. We're gonna do the same thing here. That's a dab. Just a dab will do you. Of course, being dielectric grease has nothing to do with this. It's just a mild lubricant. Nothing to do with electricity, but it works. Click. Rock and roll.